the grace of God, can make one transcend everything. When I'm talking about a devotee, I'm not saying that the devotees are not ready. Otherwise, there will never be a devotee. Firstly, when one is ready, one become a devotee. And this is the greatness, like you said, Bhagwan also come in the form of the devotee. And this is the greatness of being a devotee itself, That once he have given you his name, he have revealed his name to you, that means there is a connection with him. When I say I have not seen, it's a bit extreme. Yeah. Actually, all devotees are representation of the Lord himself. Yeah. Like it is said, in chapter 6, verse 29, it said the true yogi, a yogi's mind unite with God consciousness, perceived all being in God and God in all beings everywhere. And it's so beautiful, this verse, where Bhagwan himself gives the description of a true devotee. A true devotee, which is their mind is centered upon the Lord. It's the mind is absorbed in the remembrance of the Lord himself. They have transformed. That transformation of the mind makes them see firstly the divine within them, and while seeing the divinity within them, they perceive the divine also everywhere. So they see the divinity within the self. They perceive the self. What is the self really? The self is a spark of the divine himself. No? The Atma is part of Krishna, is part of Narayana. So a part of Narayana is the same as Narayana. In quality, he have all the same quality. But we can't say, yes, we are Narayana. We are part of him. So like that, those souls, those whose mind is calm, those whose mind is absorbed in love, for them, they perceived the quietness everywhere. They perceive Bhagwan in everything. May it be good or bad. Because very often people will see good as being God. But God is in everything. Due to certain gunas, they are revolving and doing other things. But the divinity is the same. They will have to do some samskaras and vasanas, all the stuff they have to get rid of. Once they are purified, they will shine. It may take thousands of lives, but they will shine that divine self. That's why they said the yogi perceived everything in him and all the beings in the divine himself. So there is this unity. We are, it shows that the whole universe is in his cosmic body. We are not separate. We are not outside of him. Everything is inside of him. That's what he showed to Mother Yashoda. It's such a beautiful Leela itself. The Gopas run to Mother Yashoda and said, your son have eaten mud. And Mother Yashoda rushed and said to Krishna, you have eaten mud. Open your mouth. He said no. But by forcing him to open his mouth, what does Mother Yashoda saw inside his mouth? She saw the whole universe inside of his mouth. Him eating the mud was always there inside of him. So how can something is separate from him? Nothing is separate from him. He prevailed over everything. But those who have that consciousness, those whose mind is fully absorbed, they are not touched by that. In Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 7, verse 29, Lord Shiva himself said, because it is the chapter would describe of Daksh, insulting Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said, when my mind is fully absorbed into you, my Lord, even if the mind run into the outside world, the world of matter, the world which is finite, even if somebody is insulting me, it doesn't make any effect upon me. Because my mind is not attached to these things. My mind is attached to you. So when my mind is attached to you, these things don't affect me. When will the mind be affected? The mind will be affected when it is not calm. When the mind is agitated, anything little will agitate such mind. But when your mind is fully absorbed in the divine consciousness, you will perceive only the divinity everywhere. Like in all the gold, jewelry that exists, the gold perceived only only reality. The same in all the bulb, which exists in a house, but the electricity is the same. The mud in the hundreds of pots, but it is only mud. So like that, you see, what we have inside of us, when we see the divine inside of us, we perceived only the divine as the only reality. So like that, when a devotee is fully absorbed into that consciousness, when a devotee is fully absorbed into remembering the divine at all time, the mind of such devotee is not just a mind which is like normal human being. It's the divine itself. And when I'm telling that I have not seen, a single one, it's true, I have not seen one which is mind completely sublime, which is shining that divinity completely. But I have seen the divine in many of the devotees, and I have seen that love in many devotees' heart, and I have seen that beauty in the devotee itself, which Bhagavan have graciously called them on the spiritual path, which they have been made ready for that. And still, of course, being ready is not yet, the divine have not yet fully revealed himself. It still have to be polishing, still a little bit of polishing need to be done. And when that is done, they will also shine the same. So it's a little hard work to do, but nonetheless, if they are called on this spiritual path, they will shine. And if Bhagavan have called them to remind them of his relationship to him, that means you will reach Vaikuntha. Not when you die, even being here on earth itself. You will, like the great yogi, they didn't die to go to heaven. No, they realize him being here itself. It's just a transformation of your mind, which is important. It's like when your mind runs into the world outside, you will perceive only the world. When the intelligence, awake, then you perceive, the world of intellect. But when the divine awake inside of you, you will perceive the world of divinity. So whatever awake inside of you, that's what you will see. So when I said that I have not yet seen that, I am asking indirectly, please let that divinity which is inside of you awake. You are not, for Bhagwan to call you, you are not just a normal, mundane human being. Realize the greatness that you have inside of you. You know, for Bhagwan to call you, it's not just random. You belong to Him. And when you belong to Him, He wants you. When you limit yourself, then you will be limited. But you want to be that, or you want to let what you have inside of you, that greatness which you hold inside of you, awake. So that's why I can say, surely you will be in Vaikuntha with Him. Because you belong to Him. You don't belong to this world. You don't belong to the world of finite. But who are you? That Atma. So the Atma itself is a spark of divinity. It belongs to Him. It is part of Him at all time. Even if it have come and manifests here and play the game of a mundane human being, get attached to the world of Maya, but at the end it is a spark of Him which will be back to Him. So, and as being a devotee, He is reminding you of His love for you. So that's why you are all really blessed souls, You are all already attaining Him. It's just that you have to transcend that mind which separates you from Him. That mind which you have built up through so many lives, layers and layers of identity, identifying yourself with that limitation. It is time to let go of that limitation, to be back again into your unlimited self. And this is what Guru does, reminding you of that eternal bliss. Your aspect, your true aspect, is that aspect of eternal love, Satchidananda. And that's what you have to awake into.